Shapar, which means horn. Young, which means wine. Yasha Allah, which means to Israel. Shapar, which means horn. Imagine in the room. So Panya Hakudum, which means rise, turn, face the east. I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw, Bashamayim, Yash Hayah, Shemka, Yahawah, Amulakaka, Tabah, Batazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barakazah, Hawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, the Thunderno, Lacham, Kaliwan, Wasalakano, Wabakno, Kasalakno, Wabakno, Wala'ah. Kabayano, I said one, ball, shine, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Baka, Malakwa, Wa'al, Batapara, Walamyam, Aman.
In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
Pray for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Hashem Yahushua. Baruch Thunderno, Aka,
in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. Power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Prayer for the power structures in the Hebrew. Rakatah Yahweh. Why Yahushua? Why Mayak Allah? Why Allahayim? Matazabia Alawakahan. Alawaki. Hashrani. Hakutazayani. Hakayali. Waki. Yahweh. Hashem Yahushua.
Amen. In the English, bless you Yahweh. And Yahushua. And Michael. And the angels. Commanding General Yohanan. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Prayer for the prophesied curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Listen to us now. Right now. Say the evils and curses. Punishment and destruction. To the heathen. Speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the school. Say the evils and curses. Punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose. The treasure of the rich of Israel. They refuse to get to the school. Force their riches. To enter into thy sanctuary. Say evils and curses. Punishment and destruction. To the Edomites. The nation. The drug dealers. Court systems. Prison systems. Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
The Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
Islam.
Christianity.
Egyptology. Militia.
Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Posse Comitatus. The gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airwaves. Cable access channel. Radio channel. Convict the spirit. Any of thy people. That seek to stop us. To bring swift destruction. To all the heathens. To stand in the way. Will try to stop us. From broadcasting your word. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro. Through the earth. And consume them. Let the plagues. Take the house of the thief. And the murderer. Let Yahushua. Michael and Gabriel. Down with the flying saucer. Punish all the heathen. Come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause to be known by all. And it's the angels that have done it. Cause to be spread through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you always. So be it. Sorry, face the front. Yeshavim, which means be seated. So we're back here in the Sabbath service in Genesis. We're almost to the end of Genesis. We're up here a little bit early. Got my morning coffee. It's bright and early. It's not even 8:45 yet. But Yasha. And so that we're here early, so that we can finish early, so that the men of the Lord can go out and do the work of the Lord, go out and feed the Lord's people and show them that they don't need the white man, that we have each other. And so these brothers are going to be going down to Trenton. Brothers from Philly, brothers from all over Jersey are going to be going down to Trenton and bringing food, clothes, and what have you, and teachings to our people. And yeah, let's get right into it. Hey, I'm starting to make a little progress with that spar.
Yeah, you guys are. That's pretty good.
I saw this video. I don't know if you saw this video this week. Some pastor. This is a black pastor, and he was trying to do something Jewish in the church, right? And he was like, I'm gonna blow the shofar, and then everybody's gonna, have a blessing or whatever, right? And he takes it, and in the caption of the video was like, wait for it. And he takes it and he goes, I've never seen anything that goofy in my whole life. That's what your Christian pastors out there doing, man. I can't make this up. That's what your Christian pastors out there doing. Look, if I got to still tell you what's wrong with Christianity, you're not paying close enough attention. That's time to grow up. It's time to put your big boy pants on, open up your eyes, and walk out that church. Let's get into the Hebrew.
Shalom to everyone in the chat.
Hey,
we have Officer Hazahab I see in the house.
Hey, Most High Christ.
Trooper, young man Bruce in the house.
Okay.
That Polabi and the band.
Hey, well, shout out to y'all rocking it out with us early on a Saturday morning. And we're about to get into some good things today. We're about to get into the tribes. Today we're going into Genesis 49. All right, let's get started.
Genesis chapter 48, verse 20. Wayabarkam, Wayawam, Ahawa'a, La Amuar, Baka, Yabarak, Yasharala, La Amar, Yasha Makah, Alahayam, Ka'aparyam, Wa Kamanasha.
So Ka'aparyam Wa Kamanasha, saying that may the Lord make you as Ephraim and as Manasseh. Keep going.
Wayashab, Aparyam, Lapanya, Manasha. Verse 21. Wayamar, Yasharala, Al, Yawasa, Ana, Anakia, Ma, Wahaya, Alahayam, Imakam. Wahashayab. Afkam. Allah. Arataza.
That was all rights to the land. And just to catch y'all up, this is, where we left off. Jacob he's on his deathbed. He's getting old. Joseph came and brought his sons Ephraim and Manasseh, and Jacob gave them the blessing that they were going to be as his sons. And he swapped his hands when he went to bless them like that. So he deliberately took Ephraim, who was the younger, and gave him the blessing of the firstborn, which is all foretelling of how Ephraim was going to be, of how Ephraim and Manasseh were going to be considered as tribes, and how Ephraim was going to be considered as a head tribe.
Come. About to come. Verse 42.
22.
Verse 22. Wa Ananya. Nathathaya. Laka.
Wa Anya. Anya is I. So Wa Anya and I. Keep on.
Wa Anya. Nathaya. Laka. Shakam. Akkad. Il. Akika. Ashar. La Wakathya. Mayad. Ha'amarya. Bakarabya. Wabakwashathya. Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. Wayakwara'a. Ya'aikwab. Al. Banyawa. Waya Amar. Ha'asapwa. Wa'ag Yada. Lakam. Af. Ashar. Yakwara. Afkam. Ba'akarya. Hayamyam. Verse 2. Hakwaba Tazawa. Washama'ai Banya. Yaikwa. Washama'aiwa. Yashrala. Abayakam. Verse 3. Ra'awaban. Bakarya. Atha. Kakia.
So now we're starting to get into the tribes and these clues that we get to see who the tribes are today. And so we're in Genesis 49 and verse 3. Read that again.
Ra'awaban.
Ra'awaban, which is Reuben. Go
ahead. Bakarya. Atha. Kakia.
Bakarya Atha is you are my firstborn. Kachya is my might. Keep going.
Wa Rasha.
Well, Ra'ashah is going to be, we use that, we talk about Ra'ash a lot because if you go into the ancient Hebrew, it's a pictographical type script. And the letter for Ra, which is Ra'ash, resembles a head. Ra'ash is a head, Ra'ash is first. And so this is the beginning. Read on.
Awanya.
Awanya of my strength. Beginning of my strength. This is his firstborn son. Read.
Yathar. Sha'af.
Yathar. Exact. Sha'af. And this brother knows that because this is Sha'af 1, the man of dignity. So Yathar Sha'af, the excellency of dignity. Read.
Wayathar.
Wayathar, and the excellency. Read.
Isaac.
Eyes of power. So the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. And when you look at the so-called Seminole Indians, they have a different vibe from all of the other Native American tribes. They have a whole different history. The excellency of dignity. You see the way that they dress, the way they carry themselves. it's on a whole nother level from all the other tribes. And their excellency of power, they were the last tribe to not sign a treaty with the white man, to not surrender. They were out there in Florida doing things that you couldn't believe that they would do against the white man's military. Sir?
If I may, if you go in deeper, the Seminole Indians end up moving into Mexico. When Mexico, you know what I'm saying, abolished, they helped Mexico abolish slavery. Mexico gave them land that they could, you know what I mean, that they could settle. So it was not only the Seminole Indians, it was a lot of Judites also went to Mexico. And there's a whole, you know what I mean, a whole city, just nothing but Seminole Indians and Seminole Indians, the Rubite and the Judites, because that's where that's where Mexico let them settle in when they fought off slavery.
Yep. And I don't know, hopefully everybody out there heard, but the brothers going into the history of how a lot of Indian tribes, the Seminoles and a couple of other tribes that ended up getting pushed towards Texas and Oklahoma, ended up helping the Mexicans, ended up helping them when the white man was trying to oppress us and keep us in slavery. They went over and gave us land over in Mexico. And that's why to this day, there's communities, if you look up, there's certain towns and areas by the coast where it's just all black Mexicans. And that's the history of that. But keep going.
Come on. Verse 4. Pakaz, Kamayam, Al, Tawathar, Kaya, Al-Yaf.
So Pakaz, Kamayam, unstable as the water. Keep going.
Come. Mashakabya, Abayaka, Az, Kalaf, Ya Taza Wa'aya, Ayla.
And so the key phrase in here is Al Tawathar. You shall not excel. Thou shalt not excel in the English. And this is because of what Reuben did when he went up to his father's bed and defiled it. We know that story. We covered that story a few weeks ago. And so the prophecy was, you're not going to excel. And to this day, you know, they're the smallest in population. And, you know, for all their fight, they did not excel. But they still got that dignity. They still got that power that the Lord blessed them with. And that's how you're able to identify them. Keep going. Or back to the English.
Come on. Genesis chapter 48, verse 20. And he blessed them that day, saying, in thee shall Israel bless, saying, the Most High make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. Verse 21. And Israel said unto Joseph, behold, I die, but the Most High shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Verse 22. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow. Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I will tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
In the last days. So that's how we immediately know that this chapter is going to talk about things that are going to apply to these tribes in the last days. Because the white man and other enemies that try to belittle his truth try to say, well, you look at your Genesis 49 breakdown. He was just giving them blessings and things. This says in the last days. These are going to be identifying markers. I don't know what y'all think he was talking about when he said last days. You got another last days for me? Until then, be quiet and listen and learn. Read on.
Come on. Verse 2. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Verse 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength.
So we just broke that down. Reuben was the firstborn son, is the beginning of his strength. That's how you feel when you first have a son. That's the start of everything. It's like, yeah, let me build a whole team now. Keep going.
The excellency of dignity and the excellency of power.
So that was his vibe, and that's the vibe that you'll see amongst the Seminole Indians to this day and all through the time in America. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defiledest thou it. He went up to my couch.
So he was chastising him, and even he was letting him know, even though you're gonna have a blessing, your lineage is gonna remember what you did. Go ahead, back to the Hebrew.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 5. Shammai 1. Waloya.
So Shammai 1, Waloya. Go ahead.
Akyam.
Simeon and Levi are brothers. Well, of course, they're all brothers, right? This is saying that Simeon and Levi are going to be closer than all of these other tribes. Go ahead.
Salaki, what verse do you start at?
This is verse 5.
You start at verse 5?
Yeah.
Oh, at the end, you start at 48 and 20, correct?
Yeah, we went through verse 4.
All right, then it was 1. Oh, okay. All right. So was it, you
You
went to verse 4?
Yeah.
Hold on, maybe it's different. Because you start at 20, then it's 22, it was the end of the chapter.
No, sir, that's seven verses right there. It's 20, 21, 22, that's 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, all right, yeah, my fault, yeah, okay. I see.
Yeah. 2 out. Go
ahead. Kalya. Kamas.
Kalya Hamas. Hamas is violence. So it's saying instruments of cruelty. Go ahead.
Makaraf Yaham.
And this is instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. And so this is both a harken back to what they did to avenge their sister and a fast forward to what they're going to be like in the last days. So it's saying they're going to be brethren, meaning they're going to be going closer than the other tribes. So that's how we can see what two tribes are on the same island, share the same island, but then were divided by a border that is now one of the one of the most violent borders on earth. If you ever see an image of the border between Haiti and the Dominican Republic, it's like I don't even know what to compare it to. Have you ever seen these images?
No.
It's all green and lush on one side, and then all of a sudden it's like a line, and it's just barren because of the way that they've oppressed each other, and the way the Dominicans have treated the Haitians, and the way that the white man, when he's been in power in the Dominican Republic, has treated the Haitians. There's a lot of history on that border. There's a lot of violence that is going on that border. There's a lot of listen, I don't have to explain if y'all know Dominicans and Haitians, instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. All right, keep going.
Okay. Verse 6.
I mean, are y'all familiar with the Parsley Massacre? So this is, and it's crazy because this is so biblical. When the white man was in charge in the Dominican, or actually, this actually, I got to do a little bit more looking into his history. But this dictator, supposedly somebody in his ancestry is black, and that made him hate himself even more. Like he would try to put on white makeup and do all types of crazy stuff. But he has so much hatred for the black Dominicans and for the Haitians, for real. He sent to the border teams of executioners with machetes, and they would go around and test people. And the border is always a conflict because obviously people are passing back and forth to get jobs and things like that. He sent a team of people down there with machetes to test people, to have them say the Spanish word for parsley, and you'd have to roll your R's. And so French-speaking Haitians, you would immediately know that they were Haitian. And that's how they would execute them on the spot. And if you go, there's a story in the scriptures about the same thing happening with the word shibboleth, and there was a tribe that had an accent that pronounced it like shibboleth, and it's all biblical. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Basadam, Al, Daba'a, Napasha, Bakohalam, Al, Bakad, Kabadya, Kaya, Ba'apam, Aragawa, Ayash, Waba Baratazan Nam, Ikorar Wa, Shawar. Verse 7. Arawar, Apam, Kaya, Eyes.
So that's our war upon. Cursed be their anger, Kaya eyes, for it is strong. Keep going.
Okay. Wa Ibaratham, Kaya, Kwashatha.
While I bar them in their wrath, Kaya Kwashatha, for it is cool. Keep going.
Karawakan. Ak Lakwam, Bayakwab. Wab Ya Tazaam, Ba Ya Sharala. Verse 8. Ya Hawada, Ba Yawada Waka, Akyaka, Araka, Vairap, Ayabyaka, Yasha, Kawa, Laka.
So now, real quick in this, Yahawada, which is Judah, Atha, Yawaduka, Akika, your brothers shall praise you, which means everybody's going to look up to you. And that's not, like, this stuff explains itself. Everybody looks up to so-called African Americans. The culture is everywhere. The style is everywhere. It's not hard to, being that America's reach is so far, everything, media, sports, everything. We dominate, and that goes out to the world. Keep going.
Okay. Bonya, Abayaka. Verse 9. The war, Araya, Yahawada.
The war, Ariyah, Yahawada, lion's whelp. Judah is a lion's whelp, a young lion, the temper of a young lion. Keep going.
Okay. Matara, Banya, Alya, Karai, Rabataza, Arya, Wakalab, Ya'a, Maya, Yakwa, Yamanwa. Verse 10. La'a, Yasawar, Shabbat, Ma Yahawada, Wama Kakwakwa, Mabayan, Ragal Yawa, Ai, Kaya, Yaba'a, Walawa, Yakwaha.
So you read that in the actual parentheses. That's Shiloh, which is Shiloh, which is until Shiloh comes, until the Messiah comes back. And so this is saying that a scepter is not going to depart from Judah, nor the staff from between his feet until Shiloh comes. Meaning Judah will be the head tribe. Judah would have that type of reputation through the earth, all the way down. And here we are. Keep going.
I'm a yum. Verse 11. Asarya, Lagapan, Ayara, Ayarawa, Walasharaka, Banya, Athanwa, Kabas, Bayayan, Labashwa, Wabadam, Ainabyam, Sawathan, Sawathwa. Back to the English. Genesis chapter 49, verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations.
So we just went over this in the Hebrew. Simeon and Levi are brethren. They're all brethren, but Simeon and Levi are closer. They share an island. They're closer together. We would see them in the last days being right next to each other. Keep going.
Verse 6. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor. Be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall.
So this is talking about what they did, to avenge their sisters. It's talking about when they teamed up. But this is a reminder that, as it's about to say, keep going.
Verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath.
That their anger is fierce and their wrath is cruel. That once they get going, their violence don't have no pause. I was just watching a video that went viral the other day. Just somebody recording on a street in the Dominican Republic at night, and two cats got into a fight, and they bust out machetes. And it was a straight up machete fight. And they go and swinging, and all of a sudden you see the one dude's hand just go flying over here. Yeah, but they keep going. They keep going, and now the guy's fighting with one hand because what's he gonna do? Stop fighting? So now they're just fighting, swinging these machetes, and then when they stop and the one dude walks off, the other dude just goes over and picks up his hand and puts it in his pocket like he dropped his keys. That's life in the Dominican Republic. Don't let me tell y'all stories about my Dominican.
Hey.
That's a whole nother. The point is, these tribes have a reputation that came all the way down, and it's not hard to understand. Anybody, you take on the traits of your father, and then their children take on the traits of their father, and then their children take on the traits of their father. It's not that complex. It's basic psychology.
And if I may, you already know this is a spiritual fight because it's not by accident why, why the Dominicans, the so-called Dominicans who are the Simeonites and the Levites is on the same island.
Right.
The Haitian, it's not by accident.
It's not by accident.
In the scripture, they was always tight. They always ran together. It's a lie.
Exactly, and that's why it's time to bring them together. Because the white man wants us divided. The white man wants us fighting at a border, thinking that, imagine, like, here in New York, we look at the Dominican Republic as poor as hell. But they're on the border protecting their side as if they're the richest country in the world. Like, they can't let these Haitians over here to come work. Y'all both poor, man. Y'all both poor. Team up. Continue.
Well, to add, now I know why we're being trained in first aid and tourniquets, so we can fix that up.
Yes, we will reattach your hand if you put it in your pocket. Just put that joint on ice, and the men in the Isupk are being trained to put that hand right back on, so you can get right back to it.
Verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
And by the way, that's scattered in Israel. Dominicans and Haitians are both all over this country in the most random places. We just heard the story recently with a whole Haitian community in Springfield, Ohio, that they're going crazy to oppress, even though they're the only reason that town still exists. They're in the church, in the warehouse, the supervisors, the music directors, everything else in that community. They're the only reason y'all still have a town, but they're going losing their minds beside themselves trying to oppress and slander these Haitians. Keep going.
Okay. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
So this is Judah now. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. So now everybody, all these different tribes have culture that radiates from Judah somehow, that connects back to Judah somehow. Thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Because then the next thing you would say about Judah is there's been more fight back against oppression here in America than anywhere else. Like, let's keep it real. When you look back, you can look back at some of these other places. Look at Brazil. They didn't have, I mean, they don't get me wrong. Our people have done incredible things all throughout this hemisphere, in this hell, in this captivity. In Brazil, they have whole towns that are made from slaves that ran away and created towns and fought off the Portuguese until they just left them alone and let them build a town. Like, there's incredible stories, but you know, you can look at a different type of fight back that's happened here in America. Keep going.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up?
So that lion's whelp, that temper of a young lion. But then once that lion gets old, who's going to rouse him up? Keep going.
Verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
And by the way, like that I want to stick on that for a second. When you think about the temper of a young lion and the way that brothers grow up in America, but we also have a stereotype of a very docile older brother that, you know, would never say anything bad about the white man, just wants to, you know, do what he got to do. And it's like, where did your spirit go? And that's kind of what, you know, this verse is, as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? You don't want to ever lose that spirit, that lion spirit. Go ahead.
Until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
So the scepter shall not depart from Judah, meaning that position of being a head tribe. That's the reason that Christ came through Judah. Nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, all the way until the Messiah comes back. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be, which goes into everything that this blessing is saying, that everybody is going to flock towards Judah. Keep going.
Verse 11. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's colt unto the choice vine. He washes garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
That's deep. Now, on that note, listen, we're going to break these scriptures down, but if you want the top tier 12 tribes breakdown, please go watch Captain Katazai's lecture. It's up, it's all over, it's long. If you want the breakdown, go watch a long video. Take some time, have fun with it. Keep going. Back to the Hebrew.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 12. Kakal ya ayan yam ma yayan wala ban shanyam ma kalab. Verse 13. Zaba walan.
So this is Balawan, which is the you know, in South America. Keep going.
Laka wa.
Pardon me, Central America. Go ahead.
Yum yum. Yasha Khan.
So Lachawa, Yum Yum, by the shore of the sea. Yashakun shall dwell. Keep going.
Khan. Wahawa'a. Lakawa. Anyawa.
So Lahawa Anyawat is a haven for ships. So now, dwelling by the shore of the sea in Central America, they're surrounded, they're close to two seas. Depending on where you're at, you could damn near walk from one sea to the other. And then that's why, of course, they built the Panama Canal, which changed commerce across the earth. And so that's what we're getting into when we talk about a haven for ships. There's no place on earth more important to commerce when it comes to shipping than the Panama Canal. This is a haven for ships in these last days, and it's brought our people from all different areas down to that area to work, and then generations later, now they're Panamanians, and that's spiritual. They ended up there for a reason. And so that's why these Central Americans are tribes following. Keep going.
Wayakatwa. Isle. Tazayadan. Verse 14.
And so that's saying his border shall be unto Zidon, which is, of course, going back into Zidon is a city in the region in the Middle East. Keep going.
Yash Shakar.
And now I hope none of y'all, trip up on that, because obviously if these are prophecies for the last days, there's double and triple and quadruple meanings in some of these things. So when you say Zidon, don't take that literally, unless you think that the tribes are literally going to be over there in the last days, in which case you wouldn't be here watching this video. Keep going.
Yashakar, Kamar, Garam, Rabatazah, Bayan.
So, Yashakar, Kamar, Garam. Issachar is a strong axe. I mean, I shouldn't even have to go farther. If the first thing that you see is a strong ass, a donkey, representing this tribe, I mean, do I have to keep going? Keep going.
Amashapathyam.
So that's Rabazah Bayan, which is between Amashapathyam, two burdens. Keep going.
Verse 15. Wayara'a. Marakaka. Kaya. Tawab. Wa'a. Ha'arataza. Kaya. Na'ima. Waya. Shakamwa. Lasabal. Wayahaya. Lamas. Ibad.
Wayahaya Lamas Ibad, and became a servant unto tribute. Now, some of y'all, don't like some of the other parts of this Issachar scripture. You think it's too simplistic. He's a strong axe, couching down between two burdens. Saw that rest was good. We know the Mexicans are known for taking siestas and enjoying their rest and sleeping, putting their hat over their face. Y'all think that's too simplistic, but this is painting a picture. But then when you get to the end, that this entire tribe became known for being servants, for tribute, for hire, but as a servant class. This should not be that hard to understand.
So like, if I may, usually, usually the tribe, because they're in the spirit, because we all do it. You know what I'm saying? All the tribes do it. When I was in DR, everybody's working. Everybody working. A couple of drops of rain, everybody stopped working. Then you heard music. Then you heard music, literally. Yep. I was in town, it was crazy. I never seen that before, but I know that because I used to work with Isupk all the time. Like, when we break, remember, also, if I may, what was Bernie Mac, when he was talking about, you know what I'm saying, the Judites say, when we break, that's what the hell we do. We break. Right.
Yeah.
Did you see Tony? So, we break. Same thing with the other tribe. It does the same thing, It was like 2 drops of rain. Yeah. 2 drops of rain. Done. Then you heard music. Once the 2 drops of rain, everything stopped. Everybody's going to work, whatever. 2 drops of rain. The music came out. It was a barbecue. It literally was a barbecue. I was this town is crazy because it was a town. Yeah. This town is crazy. I never seen anything like that in my life. Once you know what I mean, once they saw the rain, they put up a canopy and it was a barbecue. Everybody stopped. Everybody stopped working.
That's a break.
But then if it rains later on today, we're allowed to set up a tent and a barbecue.
Yeah, it's gonna be a barbecue anyway. We're serving chili and Trenton. Last year was chili and Philly. Last year was chili and Philly. This year is chili and Trenton. So pull up, send everybody out there. Everybody that's in the trenches in Trenton better get to the streets in Trenton where the priest is gonna be at.
Mm-hmm.
But this is heavy, because listen. There's all over the world, people are hard workers. All over the world, there are migrants that move to other countries to work. Nowhere in the world in modern history have you seen such a focus and a concentration and a reputation as the Mexicans have with what's been going on crossing that border for decades and generations at this point.
That's right.
Keep going.
Okay. Verse 16. Dan, Yadyan, Imawa, Ka'akad, Shabbatya, Yasharala.
And so now this is going into Dan, who's going to judge as one of the tribes of Israel. But of course, we already saw the foreshadowing in the last chapter as the blessings were being given to Ephraim and Manasseh, that those two were going to become tribes and Dan was going to be absorbed. But Dan is still here in front of him at this point, so he's getting his blessing. Keep going.
Verse 17. Yahya, Dan, Nakash, Aoya, Darak, Shapa, Yapawan, Shapan, Aoya, Arak, Anashak, Iquabya, Sawas, Wayapal, Rakabawa, Akwar. Verse 18. Layasha Wa'ithaka, Kwawa Yathya, Yahweh.
Back to the English.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. Wrong verse. Yeah. Verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
So we're still talking about Judah at this point. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Keep going.
Verse 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships.
So we just went into this and we just broke this down in the Hebrew. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea and a haven of ships. So he's on the shore by the sea and in between both seas, surrounded by water, and become a haven of ships. So as we just broke down and went into the Panama Canal, went into how important that is to world commerce, went into how much that drove the shifting of people and everything else. Keep going.
And its border shall be unto Zidon. Verse 14. Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between 2 burdens. Verse 15. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant.
So as we just broke down in Hebrew, a strong ass couching down between 2 burdens, of people known for being strong, for being impossibly strong workers. What's the stereotype? You can't even think of keeping up with a Mexican working on anything, working in a house, construction, whatever. Don't even try to keep up with them. They're gonna do things. I've seen Mexicans go up on a ladder working on a roof and just walk their way to the other side of the room on the ladder without coming down. They're just They will zip that job out and put you to shame if you even try to keep up. So this cannot just be any group of migrant workers. Keep going.
And bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
And became a tribe of people known for being a servant class under tribute, for being paid next to nothing and just being known as hard workers. And that's unfortunately the case today in this white man's hell. Keep going.
Verse 16. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Verse 17. Dan shall be a serpent by the way.
So you see how that contrasts with each other. As one of the tribes of Israel, but he shall be a serpent by the way. I mean, he's going to be subtle. And so this is a foretelling of Dan being absorbed into the tribes. You're not going to know who Dan is today. If anybody's out there telling you who Dan is, turn them niggas off and turn the Isupk on. That's it. Keep going.
An adder in the path that biteth the horse heels.
You're not going to see him. You're not going to know where he's at. Keep going.
So that his rider shall fall backward. Verse 18. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord.
Sign Christ. Back to the Hebrew.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 19. God, Garawan, Yaga Wadanwa.
So now we're talking about the tribe of Gad. And it says, Garawad, Yaga Wadanwa. A troop shall overcome it. Keep going.
Wa Hawa'a, Yagad, Iqab.
But he shall overcome at the last. That last, of course, is talking about when Christ comes back.
Verse 20. Ma Ashar, Shamana, Lakamwa, Wa Hawa'a, Yathan, Ma'idanya.
So now we're talking about Asher, and it says his bread shall be fat, he shall yield royal dainties. Keep going. And this is Asher, the side of South America that includes the tribe of Asher is the wealthiest of South Central America and the Caribbean, because Brazil is there. And they got all the money in the world. Keep going.
Malak. Verse 21. Naphthalia. Ayala. Shalakah. Hanathan. Amaria. Shapar. Verse 22. Ban. Parath. Yawasa. Ban. Parath. Aliyah.
So you see that word parath keep coming up. That's fruitful. That's fruitful. Joseph is a fruitful bough. Even a fruitful bough by a well. Keep going.
Ayan.
Ayan is the well. Go ahead.
Banwath. Taza'ida. Aliyah. Shawar.
So that banwath is the word for branches. Now this is the word for children. So it's telling you what the metaphor is. It didn't even use a word for branches. This is the branches run over the wall. Your children are running over the wall. If you're an Ephraimite or a Dominican, you sneeze on a woman, she's going to get pregnant. Your children are running over the wall. Joseph is a fruitful bough. That's a clear, listen. Listen. Go ahead.
Verse 23. Waya Mararawa. Wa Rabwa. Waya Shatamawa. Ba'alya. Ha Tazayam.
And that's talking about the violence that the white man had when he landed on the islands of Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and everywhere else he put his foot on the planet. Go ahead.
Khan, verse 24. Wathashab.
But of course, that's there with Joseph for a reason. Because what do they try to say all the time? They try to say that, oh, the Tainos was wiped out. They did so much violence on the island of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, the Tainos was wiped out. They try to say, have you heard this many times? They try to say, oh, there's no Indians. Well, they try to say that, but then they come back and correct themselves every so often. Because I heard, if you go and look back into the history, there was a long time where they were saying that there was almost no remnant of the Tainos in Puerto Rico.
Right.
And then not maybe 10, 15 years ago, they started printing articles saying, oops, our bad. All these Puerto Ricans got Taino DNA. And then they started revising everything because they try to sell this idea on you that you don't know what you are, so just be a Puerto Rican. Just be a Dominican. Don't ask no questions. Don't think no further about it. They try to push that on you as hard as they can. But they were able to push that narrative specifically in Puerto Rico because of the sheer level of violence that the white man brought with him to Puerto Rico and to the Dominican Republic. Keep going. That's why this scripture is here.
Meanwhile, a block away, we have the Taino Towers.
Right
here.
Right, with gates and security everywhere. They'll throw you these little crumbs. Here, you can call this Taino something, but there's no more Tainos. You're not Taino. Just call this building the Taino Towers. All right.
Verse 24. Wathashab, Wayathan, Washafwa, Wayapazwa, Araya, Yadayawa, Mayadya, Abaya, Yaikwab, Masham, Raya, Aban, Yasharala. Verse 25. Ma'al, Abayaka, Waya Izaraka, Wa'af, Shadya, Waya Barakawa, Barakat, Shamyam, Ma'al, Barakat, Dahawam, Rabataza'af, Bakat, Barakat, Shadyam, Barakam.
Back to the English.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Like we just said, these are the North American Indians, the tribe of Gad, and they're known for their battles with the troops. They're known for fighting as long as they could. And the troop overcame him back then. Put our brothers on reservations in the most barren parts of the land, gave them crumbs to pretend that they have some type of sovereignty while continuing to oppress them and keep them in poverty. But they're going to overcome at the last. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties.
So we broke that down. That's talking about the riches that that side of South America has compared to the rest of the Western Hemisphere. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words.
So this is a hind let loose. They got room to run around. And if you look at Argentina and Chile, these are vast areas of flat, open land. And they give goodly words because our people are friendly people. And unfortunately in Argentina, that means they let a whole bunch of white people in that country. But we'll get into that history lesson another day. Keep going.
Wait. Okay. Salakia, I have to admit, if you get a chance, look up the blacks in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
Look up the native in Argentina. And understand, then you look up, you know what I'm saying, the whites in Argentina.
Yeah.
The natives, they don't exist. They don't exist. You're talking about like 3rd and 6th class citizens.
Yep.
They're like 8th class citizens.
Yep.
The native population of Argentina. The black Argentina is above the native population because the white Argentinians, you know what I'm saying, separate the two.
Yeah.
But they're both poor. That's
Exactly.
the catch.
Exactly.
They're both poor. The blacks Argentina, the native Argentinians, is poor.
Yeah.
But they put such a burden on the native population that it brings a tear to the eye. It brings a tear to the eye.
That's facts. And that's
the
so
white
heavy.
man is the devil with the Bible speaks.
Damn right. And that's so heavy because they put us against each other. And anybody will tell you, anybody that travels will tell you that Argentina is the most racist country that you will find outside of America.
You know, Argentina is Nazis.
Yeah.
Argentina is Nazis.
That's what he went.
And when they had the civil war in America,
yep.
Those are all those people. Literally, yep. Those is all those as Nazis in America. America's Civil War veterans. That's their children. Literally.
They got whole towns. Yeah, they got whole towns that still speak German.
That speak only German.
To this day. To this day. So yeah, that's what happens when when we're friendly and we let the white man in to set up a city and try to turn it into the second America. Keep going.
Verse 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow.
And I say the second America because there was during that time when there were all these waves of European immigrants coming over to Ellis Island, Buenos Aires was the second most in the whole world for that European migration. More European migrants went to Argentina than anywhere except America. And they built that into another place where they could just oppress us at will.
Oh, it's like, and they got reparations. That's how they built it up so fast.
Yeah.
Argentina, you gotta realize they got paid reparations because they had to let their slaves go. And their governments have to pay them reparations for that.
Yeah.
That's how disgusting that Joe Biden and Donald Trump is. That's his thing.
Damn right. Never forget, they two sides of the same coin. He's going to have a different type of devil coming in office next week. That's all. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall.
Your kids are running over the wall, Ephraim. Joseph, listen, the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, just you ain't even got to tell them to be fruitful and multiply. He's going to multiply. That's why there's Puerto Ricans everywhere. That's why Puerto Ricans are known everywhere. The island is this big. The island of Puerto Rico is this big. We know everywhere. Keep going. This stuff breaks itself down. Go ahead.
Verse 23. The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at him and hated him.
Yeah, they did that. Go ahead.
Verse 24. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob.
Because no matter how hard they tried, they could not wipe us out. That was never going to happen.
That's right.
Ever. Read.
From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Verse 25. Even by the God of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast and of the womb.
And this is all going into the blessings of Joseph. And this is why no matter how much hatred and oppression has come up against us as a tribe or us in general as Israelites, it was never. It was always going to. We're always going to bounce back, because the Lord is punishing us like any good father would. But He's not going to kill us. He's not going to wipe us out. He's punishing us so that we can come back better than ever. Keep going.
Oh, so I have to say this. It's not by accident that America took over Puerto Rico. It's not by accident.
At all.
You know what they did to the Jews, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they took over Puerto Rico. Remember? You know what I'm saying? The Ephraim is, you know what I'm saying, is head of the northern kingdom. Ephraim. Then you have the Judites, and then, you know what I'm saying, the southern kingdom. It's by accident that it's always the Judites and the so-called African Americans, the so-called Puerto Ricans always got them together. You think that's by accident?
Not
You
at
think
all.
that's by accident, huh?
Not at all.
They always chilling together. Why is the Puerto Ricans and the Judites is, you know who's fighting against the hip hop thing, right? The Puerto Ricans and the Judites. You know who's always been together, who? The Puerto Ricans, the Ephraimites, and the Judites. It's not by accident, man. That's the Lord right there. Because Ephraim, you know what I'm saying, should not vex Judah, and Judah should not vex Ephraim. It's in the scriptures right there. It's not by accident that, you know what I'm saying, America took over Puerto Rico. It just happens to be, you know what I'm saying, the head of the Northern Kingdom. And it just happens to be that, you know what I'm saying, that our slave master took over the Judites. And the first people that the Judites said that was God's people was the Puerto Ricans.
Exactly.
That, you know what I mean? That's what it was. Like, yo, we did history. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Rico is God's chosen people.
Right.
The Judites said that. You know what I'm saying? 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 Our honor ones that taught us that. It's not by mistake, man. It's never by mistake while we all get oppressed together. But you know what I mean? We all get oppressed together. It's not by mistake.
Exactly.
That's what the Lord
And
said.
y'all gonna let the white man convince you to fight each other while he's sitting back and laughing.
Okay. Come. Genesis chapter 49,
Back to the Hebrew.
verse 26.
I imagine him up here.
Oh, you did 7 already?
Yeah, that was 7 on that.
You did
Canada.
Oh.
State to register.
Yanata, Ban Shemaiwan, Ban Yashrani.
Sayanata, Panshimarawan, Banyashala.
Yahweh say Yahweh Shabbat Thumb.
How about Samuel Shabbat? Shabbat. How you doing with the Hebrew?
I'm working on it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's not. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 26. Barakath, Abayakath, Gabarwa, Isle, Barakath, Hawarya, Id, Ba'awath, Gaba'ith, Iwalam, Bahayayan, Laraash, Yawasa, Walakwa Dakwad, Nazayar, Akyawa. Verse 27. Banyamyam, Za'ab, Yatara.
So Banyam, now this is the last tribe. Banyam, Za'ab, Yatara. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. Go ahead.
Kanamakan, Babakwar, Ya'akal, Id,
Wala Irab, Yakalak, Shal Lalal. Verse 28. Call Allah, Shabbatya, Yasharala, Shanyam, Aishara, Waza'ah, Ashar, Dabar, Laham, Abayaham, Waya Barak, Awatham, Ayash, Ashar, Karabakathwa, Barak, Atham. Verse 29. Waya Tazawa, Awatham, Waya Amar, Alaham, Anya, Naasa, Al, Anya, Kwabarwa, Athya, Al, Abathya, Al, Hama'ira, Ashar, Bashada, Iparwan, Hakathya. Verse 30. Hama'ira, Ashar, Bashada, Hamaka, Palah, Ashar, Ail, Panya, Mamara'a, Ba'arataza, Kana'ain, Ashar, Kwana, Abaraham, Af, Hashada, Ma'af, Iparan, Hakathya, La'a, Kazak, Kwabar. Verse 31. Shama, Kwabarawa, Af, Abaraham, Wa'at, Shara, Ashafwa, Shama, Kwabarwa, Af, Yatazakak, Wa'at, Wabakwa, Ashafwa, Washaba, Kwabarathya, Af, La'a. Verse 32. Ma Kona, Hashada, Wahama, Ira, Ashar, Bawa, Ma'af, Banya, Kaf.
Back to the English. Where we at? 26.
26.
Yeah.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 26. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors, unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren.
So again, this is still all talking about the blessings of Joseph, and this is clear by this point that you're referring to the Ephraimites and the the Simeonites, or today's so-called Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Keep going.
Verse 27.
I said that the Ephraimites and the Manassites, the Puerto Ricans and Cubans. Stop. Okay.
Verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoils.
Now it's going into Benjamin, the so-called West Indians. And listen, there's a reason that they so gladly take on that wolf nickname. This is not hard to envision. You just gotta visualize these sometimes. You just gotta just sit back and be like, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. And then when it goes into the hard working spirit of West Indians, in the morning it shall devour the prey, and at night shall divide the spoil. They divide the spoil because they taking care of the family. Benjamites have that stereotype of working 3-4 jobs. of sending money back to you go to any Benjamite neighborhood, half the ads you're going to see are going to be for Western Union and everything else to send money back to the islands. You go to a furniture store in a Benjamite neighborhood, and the whole thing is selling you furniture just so they can ship it back to the islands. They divide and spoil. Keep going.
Verse 28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is it, that their father spake unto them, and blessed them. Every one according to his blessings, he blessed them.
Verse 20. They got these blessings that again are for the last days, are to indicate what we're going to see in these tribes in the last days. And we just went through, and there's brothers that can do it much better than what I just did. Go again, please go watch Captain Kataza's 12 tribes lecture. But all of these blessings and all of these prophecies apply vividly to the 12 tribes as you see on this chart in these last days. Go ahead.
Verse 29. And he charged them and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that's in the field of Ephraim the Hittite.
So again, this is Jacob in his last days on his deathbed, giving these blessings, knowing that it's about to be his time. And that's a beautiful thing, to have your family gathered to you, to have your 12 sons, their children gathered around you, be able to bless them and just, let it just be like, damn, I had a good life. It's all right. Keep going.
Verse 30. In the cave that's in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephraim the Hittite, for a possession of a burying place. Verse 31. There they bury Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they bury Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah.
That's beautiful. Remember, this was negotiated by Abraham, and they wanted to give him any place that he wanted. But he wanted this spot, and he wanted to buy it. He wouldn't let them give it to him. He wanted to buy it so it would be his, so that he could pass this, so that his family could come and bury theirs, and it would be their spot. Go ahead.
Verse 32. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the child of Heth.
So the children of Heth, the people that were in that land that had respect for Abraham and was willing to give him whatever he wanted. Keep going.
Verse 30.
Back to the Hebrew.
Want to take the last one?
Yeah, I'll take the Genesis 49 and 33 in the Hebrew. Wayakal Yaquab, Latazawath, Ath Bunua, Wa Yasap, Regalia al Hamatah, Wayagawai, Wayasap al Imua, verse chapter 50 and verse 1, Wayapal Yasap al Punya Abua, Wayabak Alua, Wayashaklawa, verse 2, Wayataswa, Yasap Ath Ibadua, Ath Harapayim, Lakanat, Ath Abua, Wayakanatwa, Harapayim, Ath Yasha'ala, verse 3, Wayamalawa, Lawa, Arbayim, Yawam, Kaya, Khan, Yamalawa, Yamya, Akanatim, Wayabakwa, Athwa, Matazrayim, Shabayim, Yawam, verse 4, Wayaibarwa, Yamya, Bakiyathwa, Waydabar, Yosap, Al-Bayath, Par'aya, La'amar, Amna, Matazaathya, Khan, Ba'yanyakam, Dabarwa, Na'ah, Ba'azanya, Par'aya, La'amar, verse 5, Abya, Hashabi'ayanya, La'amar, Hana, Anakya, Math, Bakobaria, Ashar, Karyathya, Laya, Barataza, Kan'ain, Shema, Lakobaranya, Wa'aitha, A'ila, Na'ah, wa Akbar, wa Akbara, Abya, wa Ashwar, wa Shaba'a. Verse 6, wa Ya'mar per Ayla, wa Khabar, Abika, Kashar, Hashabi'aika. Is that? That's it. Back to the English.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 33. And when Jacob had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed and yielded up the ghost and was gathered unto his people.
That is a beautiful way to die. That is what the scripture is talking about when it says there will be no more death. It'll be no more getting shot in the head. It'll be no more, lung cancer. It'll be no more 10-car pileups on the highway going up in a flame. This is how you pass on and pass things to the next generation. This is beautiful.
So like, if I may, it be no more you not dying without your kids around.
Right.
Your kids love you.
Exactly.
The kids took care of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You saw your grandkids, your great-grandkids. It was a beautiful life.
Exactly.
That's what it's talking about, no more death.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because you're dying, you know what I'm saying? You know your great-grandson. You know him. You know your great-granddaughters. Oh, man, you know what I mean? Yo, I was around, you know what I'm saying, to make sure this man was good for my granddaughter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's, you know what I mean? There's no more death.
Exactly.
I gotta think about that.
No more, putting your feet up and dying in a senior apartment, and then you find you 2 weeks later. Yeah, then you find you 2 weeks later because you didn't have no relationship with nobody. No more of that. This is how you pass on. Keep going.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 1. And Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept upon him and kissed him. Verse 2. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. And the physicians embalmed Israel.
I always tell you how to visualize this. This is the culmination of everything that we've been reading week in and week out. This whole story where Jacob thought Joseph was dead. And years later, they're going through a famine. They're sending him back and forth. This guy that's running all of Egypt is being harsh towards them. Then it turns out that's Joseph. Then Jacob says, I can see my son before I die. Gets all the way there. They set him up in the best part of the land. He's got years more that he's able to live and enjoy this time, see his grandchildren. And now finally after that, we saw the emotional reunion, all that. This is a whole movie. And so now Jacob passes on. Joseph is taking care of his father. They embalmed him, which, is not our culture, but Joseph was in Egypt for a long time at this point. Keep going.
Verse 3. And 40 days were fulfilled for him.
There's nothing wrong with embalming him. They just, I just preserves the body, but they're still going to bury him in the family burying spot. Keep going.
For so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days.
So not only did we mourn him according to our culture, but out of the respect they had for Joseph, the Egyptians mourned him for 40 days. Keep going.
Verse 4. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, verse 5, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die, in my grave, which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan. There shalt thou bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again. Verse 6. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury thy father, according as he made thee swear.
So Pharaoh would never deny Joseph anything he asked because of the respect that he had for him. Keep going.
Verse 7. And Joseph went up.
That's it. Back to the Hebrew from verse 7. Wa'yal Yosap, Akubar, Abua, Wa'yalwa, Aswakal, Ibadya, Paraya, Zaquanya, Wa'yaswa, Wakal, Zaquanya, Arataza, Matazarium, verse 8, Wakal Bayath Yosap, Wa'akua, Wabayath, Abua, Rak Tapum, Watazanum, Wabaquorum, Izabua, Baratza Gashan, verse 9, Wa'al Imwa, Gum Rakab, Gum Parashim, Wa'yahaya, Hamakana, Kabad, Ma'ad, verse 10, Wa'yabawa, Id, Garun, Hatad, Ashar, Ibar, Hayardan, Wa'yasapadwa, Shum, Masapad, Gadawal, Wakabad, Ma'ad, Wa'yaisha, La'abua, Abal, Shabaith, Yum Yum, verse 11, Wa'yah, Yawashab, Aratzah, Akanaanya, Habal, Wagarun, Hatad, Wayamarwa, Abal, Kabad, Zala, Matzarium, Alkan, Korah, Shema, Abal, Matazarium, Ashar, Ibar, Hayardan, verse 12, Wayaishua, Bunua, Lawa, Khan, Kashar, Tazawam, verse 13, Wayashawa, Afwa, Bunua, Arataza, Kanaan, Wayakorab, Wayakobarwa, Afwa, Wamaira, Shada, Hamakpala, Ashar, Kona, Abraham, Ashada, La Chazath, Kabar, Ma'ath, Iparan, Hakafia, Alpunya, Mamra'ah. Back to the English.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 7. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt. Verse 8. And all the house of Joseph and his brethren and his father's house, only their little ones, and their flocks, and their herds, they left in the land of Goshen.
So they all went up to bury Jacob. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company.
Think the funeral procession for a head of state today. That's how they treated Jacob. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. Verse 11. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, this is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mitzrayim, which is beyond Jordan. Verse 12.
So the Canaanites saw this from afar, and they were amazed at the level of mourning that they were doing, and they named this area after that. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. Verse 13. For his sons carried them into the land of Canaan and buried them in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Moreh.
Now Abraham, the spot that Abraham bought, fast forward, and now Jacob is being buried there by his sons, and that's a beautiful thing, and that's the perfect place for us to end after this journey that we've gone on for these last several weeks through the lives of these forefathers. I imagine up here. Shofar, which means horn. Young, which means wine.
La Yashra, which means to Israel.
Imagine in the room, so upon Yakudum, which means turn and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, Abanaw, Bashamayim, Yashaya, Shemka, Yahweh, Balakha, Aisha, Baratiza, Hawa, Haya, Shemayim, Funduno, Tom, Kaliwa, Basalakuna, Kawakina, Basalakina, Kawakina, Wala, Kabiyano, and say one, ball, Shano, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Baal, the Parah, Amun.
In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Blessing in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shah. Why Yahweh. Matizabia Alawak Yahan. Halawak. Hasrun. Akot Zayani. Akayoli. Yahweh. Hashem Yahweh Shah. What Amen.
In the English, bless you Yahweh. And Yahweh Shah. And Michael. And the angels. Commanding General Yahan. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. The name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you. So be it.
Prayer for the prophesied curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. The name of Yahweh Shah. Listen to us now. Right now. Said evils and curses. Punishment and destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. By prophets. Teachers. Princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the school. Said evils and curses. Punishment and destruction. To the heathen. Shake loose. The treasure of the rich of Israel. They refuse to give to the school. Force their riches. To enter into thy sanctuary. Said evils and curses. Punishment and destruction. To the Edomites. The nations. And their drug dealers. Court system. Prison system. Planned Parenthood. All the governments surrounding me. Amalek synagogues and armies. Roman Catholic Church. Pope. Islam. Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Posse Comitatus. The gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. any airways, cable access channels, and radio channels, convict the spirit, any of thy people, to seek to stop us, bring swift destruction, to all the heathens, that stand in the way, try to stop us, from broadcasting your word, throughout the planet Earth, and loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro, through the earth, and consume it. Let the plague shake the house, of the thief and the murderer. Let your house shine. Michael and Gabriel come down to flying saucers. Punish all the heathens that come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. And it's the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh. Always. So be it. Sorry, face the print. That concludes the Sabbath service. We'll give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak. Yahweh Shem Shem Yahweh dismissed.
We're going to start next week.
Next week,
Don't come yet, sir. Next week, what you got?
Genesis chapter 50, verse 14.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 14, next week. Shalom.